folks. This is Deb Delapiana. And this is your Shut the Fuck Up Express. You know, the subject of today's video is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Once again, look, this is a woman who gets on my nerves daily, okay? But I got to tell you something. I've been gay since the womb, okay? My friend George would tell you that. And, you know, whenever election season rolls around, there's always some kind of posturing going on with some kind of, you know, what the pundits and the political right is like to call wedge issues. So Marjorie Taylor Greene has built her career on bigotry, whether it's, you know, racism, whether she's making anti-Semitic comments. But right now, the transgender and LGBT communities are in her crosshairs. And frankly, I'm going to tell you what. I'm tired of being considered a wedge issue, okay? I'm sure people of color are being tired of being considered wedge issues. It's not as simple as that. What is going on here is an assault on people's actual civil rights that are guaranteed them under the Constitution. And it isn't a wedge issue. It is a question of civil rights. And this goes on all day long. You know, we don't want to be called wedge issues anymore. We need to be taken seriously. And by the way, gay and lesbian America needs to fucking wake up and stand up. And transgender people need to learn to fight. Now, I'm not talking about all transgender people, because some people do. But I find that when I speak to some of the younger people, they don't want to get into politics. They want to just tell their stories. Well, that's a great idea. You can tell your stories. But if you don't think that you're going to have to fight for your rights in this country, that it's just going to kind of fucking happen, you might want to think about that again, particularly with what kind of rubble is left in the Republican Party. So let me tell you why I am here today. This must have been the April Fool's joke. This article is actually from Right Wing Watch, which is a great resource, by the way, about Marjorie Taylor Greene's little visit to our friend on February 20th of this year, our friend Alex Jones, talking about the LGBTQ movement, which she referred to as predatorial. And by the way, in the same breath, she insisted she's not homophobic, which is a flat-out fucking lie. You can't call a group of people predatorial and then say you're not a homophobe. That doesn't work that way, Marjorie. But then you wouldn't know, because your ignorance is well beyond the average norm. She has vowed to introduce national legislation that models itself after Dr. Death, Ron DeSantis's Don't Say Gay bill. So in other words, she would take that bill and make it in all public schools nationwide. And if any school is, quote, indoctrinating children, she will take away their federal funding. Now, let me just tell you something. Schools do not indoctrinate children. That's a crock of shit. It's a bald-faced lie. Right now, in fact, we have right-wingers indoctrinating children. We have right-wingers like Nicholas Fuentes and other predatory right-wing Christian nationalist. That's what he likes to call himself. What he actually is a white supremacist. We actually have them on gaming sites streaming, roping kids in. That's how they do it. And they're on Gab roping kids in. And I'm going to make a page about this, and I'm going to post what some of these kids are saying on Gab. And if you don't know, Gab is a right-wing cesspool. You don't know Gab. But it is not the lesbian and gay community and the transgender community that's indoctrinating children. It is the right wing, indeed, that is indoctrinating children. Now, in the course of a school day, will it come up sometimes that a child sees a gay family? Well, you know, you can put your kid in a fucking bubble all you want in school, but eventually they're going to be exposed to these people. To people like us. My kids were brought up right. Okay? They don't see color. They don't see anything like that. They don't even care. My daughter, my oldest daughter, is dating a guy who's African American and Ukrainian. My kids don't make distinctions, and that's the way I wanted it to be. As opposed to the bigots that the right-wingers want you to raise based on fear and irrational behavior. So she's taking jabs at all of this, and Marjorie Taylor Greene really should shut the fuck up. If the people in Georgia had any sense, they would just simply completely disavow this bitch. She is not only an embarrassment to the entire nation, but she's a dangerous person. She is one of the most virulent bigots I've ever seen in public office. Which brings me to my next Marjorie Taylor Greene story. Now, I don't know really where she was here. There is a Twitter clip. She's, I don't know where she is here. I really don't want to figure it out, but she's in front of an audience. And it's not a very big audience. It looks like it's a conference room kind of thing. Maybe it's a bunch of veterans. I don't really know. And she's got, she's on the stage with her little suit on and her microphone and some American flags around her. And it says, this is what she's saying. This is her quote. "I'm going to tell you right now what is a woman. We came from Adam's rib. We are the weaker sex, but we are our husband's wife." Marjorie, I don't consider myself the weaker sex. I work in a fucking hardware store and I can prove that I'm not. That might be okay for Marjorie if that's the way she wants to live her life, but that's not the way all of us want to live our lives. We all don't want to be some guy's wife. And we have the right not to be that. But the thing that's really scary in this country is not only are we on track to overturn Roe v. Wade, but in some states we are now talking about not allowing married women to have contraception because our role here on this earth is to be the handmaid's tale. It is just to give birth and propagate the earth. What's next? Requiring that single women get married? Is that what's next down the pipeline? You know what, folks? You better wake up. You better wake up. Because I'll tell you what. They will try to steal this election in a peaceful manner. And if they can't get it that way, January 6th can happen all over again, because the one thing most of you people don't fucking understand is that the Donald Trump wing of the Republican Party, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. There are fully 50 people who participated in January 6th running for public office between 2022 and 2024. They are inundating the government. And this is the way it's done. And if you don't wake up, it'll happen here. Because that old adage that it can't happen here is bullshit. All it takes is for all of you, and I'm talking about my gay and lesbian and transgender folks too, to sit back and just allow it to be. Because whatever you accept is what will continue. And I would advise you to start thinking about protecting everybody's future here and not just white America's. I'll talk to you later.